My name is Filip Štancel. I'm from 3A class. For 7 years, we have been helping our professor, Mr. Malega, to support the project Škola na miesto ulice, in English, school instead of streets. Currently, we are supporting a 16-year-old girl, Farana Saidkan Aga, and 8-year-old boy, Basir Nasir. Thanks to the amount of 330 euros, we can provide them with a year-long school attendance. This school year, we managed to collect 710 euros, more than in any of the previous years. For all these years, we have collected 2,662 euros, thanks to the help of our students, parents, teachers, and thanks to the help of friends of our school.
So this was about us, what we can do, what we try to do for your country.
Great.
And now we expect you to tell us something about your country. And I mean,
yes, I'll probably introduce ourselves first. As you probably know, this meeting or this discussion today is part of the One World movie festival, which is going across the street in the building there. And today our guests are, I will tell you ladies first, which work for Caritas Slovakia on the project called Rafael, which helps migrants in Slovakia to settle here. If you can maybe explain a little bit more, a little bit more details what this project is about, and it would be interesting to know.
So my name is Tatiana. And we work I'm a social worker at the project called Rafael. So we work with people who came to Slovakia and they were granted asylum. So we help them with any issues they have. Mainly it's like practical issues. So whatever documents they need to have arranged, or if they need to have a doctor, if they need to see a doctor, problems with the accommodation. We provide also Slovak classes, so overall I would say we help them to integrate better to Slovak society. So, and whatever issues they have, we will help them. That's good.
Yeah, I'm a psychologist there.
And the two guests from Afghanistan, the clients of Caritas are Rola and Teresa. They come from Afghanistan. And well, if you can introduce also yourself, and Teresa will also translate to English.
My name is Rola, I'm from Afghanistan and I live in Bratislava. It's almost 6 months that I'm here in Bratislava. And now I'm just studying Slovak language to learn Slovak because it's important. I'm living in Slovak, so I have to learn the language. And also I applied for the university and I hope that everything will go through and I join the university. That's it.
And with Teresa, and if you can help us translate.
His name is Jose, he's from Afghanistan and now he lives in Bratislava in Slovakia and he wants to either work or study.
So, well, there is also, anytime you have questions, please feel free to ask. It's open for discussion. Just to start a little bit, if you can explain to us why did you decide to leave Afghanistan? Why did you end up in Slovakia?
Of course, everybody would ask the same question, like I have this question from many people, that why you leave your country and you live in Slovakia? Of course, in our country, there are many problems according to security and other stuff. That's why I quit my country and now I'm here to continue my education, maybe work, or maybe have a better life and a place where it's peace and security.
In your case, what are the reasons why did you decide or did you have to leave Afghanistan?
دولتی نبود
من احترام.
حمایت کنه از
Could you speak up? I mean, we'd like to hear some of your language.
اوکی. به خاطر یه سری مشکلاتایی که در افغانستان بود و بعد به خاطر اینکه دولت درست حمایت نمی‌کرد یه سری پیشرفتایی که ما می‌خواستیم کنیم نمی‌شد دیگه از کوچیک مثلا سر کار می‌بودیم
And too many problems, for example, lack of work, lack of education, and many other things that, for example, everybody has a desire to do and to become in the future, but in Afghanistan we couldn't do it, and our government wasn't able to support us, and that's why.
And what was your job before Afghanistan? How did you, yes, for both of you?
Like as a teacher,
می‌خوایم که من تا پنجم درس خوندم بعد از اون دیگه رفتم به کارگری و 12 که رفتم به سر کار.
These are my questions. He studied just primary school for 5 years, and he was 12 when he started working, and he worked as a carpenter, like making doors, tables, stuff like this.
In your case?
And in my case, I didn't start work when I was a kid or something. I studied, and so I worked. I did 3 jobs in Afghanistan. I was an English teacher working with the US Army, and also I worked it's called Salah Telecommunication Company as a computer college.
Any questions? What would you like to know about life in Afghanistan? Or
Did you pick Slovakia or you had to go to Slovakia?
Actually, to tell you the truth is that we came from Afghanistan to Russia, from Russia to Ukraine, and from Ukraine we wanted to come to Europe. So now I'm in Europe.
I think Ankara was coming before basically Slovakia is the first on the border.
On the border. And when you come, because it takes a long way, because we don't come by car and we just walk through the forest, enter the border, and to Europe. So the best place that you can find police is Salvan, because you are tired and you need food and everything.
So I can ask you, do you miss your country?
Of course, we have a saying that Est West is the best. Everybody loves his country or the country, but due to some problems, sometimes you cannot be in your country. And for example, me, I live far away from parents, from mom, dad, and my brother. And I used to help him all the time studying. And especially during evening, he used to ask me, can you solve this question and stuff like this? And I miss this really.
He has a younger brother who's still studying, so you were helping him. Ja budem hovoriť po slovensky, mňa strašne zaujalo, že vlastne motív tej cesty z Afganistanu bolo, že jeho poprosil, alebo teda jeho otec ho vlastne vyslal, aby odišiel z krajiny, čo mi prišlo ako strašne silné. It was partially answered. What was the motivation or the background behind the decision to leave Afghanistan and go somewhere else? In your case, when you were
In my case, because I worked with the US Army in Afghanistan, and it's forbidden. As you guys know, Taliban, they are insurgents in Afghanistan, and they used to rule in Afghanistan like 10 years ago or 15 years ago. But now they are still, like in some places, they have do operations or whatever they want. Actually, they can do it everywhere outside Afghanistan. And if you work with US Army, it's forbidden to work with them according to their law. And if they get you, your punishment is like higher than a US soldier because you're an interpreter and you're not going
Any other questions? Okay, may I ask you?
افغانستان بخاطر که نه از طرف دولت حمایت میشد نه از طرف که نه وضعیت
night, for example, he couldn't find a good work or he couldn't study as he wants to because our government doesn't have a good economy and they don't support students. You have to go to school and stuff like that. And also another problem that he had, it's, how we can say, we have different religions in Afghanistan and he is Hazara and he had a problem with this. Because in these days, if you guys know, Taliban got like 30 people of Hazara and they are under arrest till now. It's like almost 30 days that they are under arrest. Because Hazara people, you can, when you see, they look like Chinese people and Japanese people. And they will understand that, okay, he is Hazara. Like you can see.
How did you two meet? Because if I understood correctly, you didn't know each other before in Afghanistan, so both of you live in Slovakia.
It's a good question actually. When I came here in Bratislava, I went to, first we have to go to the Charita, to their office. We went there and they told me that, okay, for the first day we were trying to find an accommodation for me, but we couldn't, and I went to an accommodation that's called tariff accommodation. I spent there just one night, and for tomorrow I went back again to Charita and they said that okay, you can live in this place. And when I went there, I was just one person, I didn't have anybody, or I didn't know anybody, and I couldn't speak Slovak language. Of course I could speak English, but now I am just free and talk with everybody, but when I was new, I just was like, people will not understand or they will not respond to you when you speak and stuff like this. Because in Russia, if you speak English, people hate it. And this is the only choice that I could do. Then I spent like almost 1 month there, and after that, from side of Charita, there is a lady, her name is Yanka, and she told me that, can you come, because one person is coming from Afghanistan and he doesn't know English and he has work, so you have to get the interpreter. And I said, yes, of course. Then I went there and made translation and did everything with paper and signing the contract and stuff like this. And then they said that he can live with you. So it's almost 4 months that we are living together, or more than 4 months. And now we are good friends.
If I may ask you, what is the process for migrants coming to Slovakia, from all the legal procedures? How does it take place?
I'm not sure if I'm the right person as a psychologist, probably the question for some lawyer, but I will try. So first, when police catch you on the they send you to Sečovce, that it's kind of jail, where you spend from some weeks till 3 months. Am I right?
Yes, it depends where they take you. If they take you
Yeah.
close the border, you go to Sečovce. If
Yeah.
no, then they
Go to Humene.
yes.
Záchytný tábor, I don't know how to say záchytný tábor in English.
Concentration camp.
Not at all. There they have a medical check and stuff like that. And they have to stand there for like 3 months. And then they send them to other camps, to Opatovská Nová Ves, there's a camp for families or women, single women, and or to Rohovce, there's the special camp for men usually. And then you have to wait. Like for the response, usually it takes months. I know cases that takes years, and unfortunately, usually it's like negative answer for migration. So it's not that easy to get protection here, not even asylum here. So they are in the camps for some months. They can go out. They can have at least some life. I mean, like in freedom. Well, and then when you get the protection, subsidy protection or asylum, then you will go to Košice or Žilina or to Bratislava. There's another organizations like Charita responsible for them, and they have to try to socialize them. It's really difficult
that easy anyway.
Yeah.
From starting, probably it was not explained in the beginning that it was. I understood it was like from a movie. So when they were traveling from Ukraine to Slovakia, it was for 5 days, 4 nights, 5 days, without any food, water, without knowing where you are, and suddenly, you just appear somewhere. It's in a way what we see in the movies, and some people unfortunately have to experience.
I'm sorry. I don't know about your case, but sometimes the clients don't know where they actually are. That they don't know that they are in Slovakia sometimes. I had clients that they didn't know. Reza didn't know.
When he was here, for the first day I can say, he didn't know that where he is. And when the police got him and he asked the police that where he is, and they said that you are in Slovakia. And I can say an example, I didn't see by my own eyes, but there was a person, he used to just tell me the story, that there were 2 guys and they wanted to come from Ukraine to Slovakia. And they walked 3 days, and after that they found yourself again in Ukraine. And they couldn't reach Slovakia. Because if you don't know the way, there are expert people that they take you from that way. If you don't know, then you go around and you will be in the same place after 3-4 days.
I can ask you, are you still in contact with your family?
Yes.
Yeah. And how are they?
They are fine, they are great. I expect them to be here, but it's quite difficult. But they are okay, they are fine. We do sometimes we contact each other. Because internet connection in Afghanistan is, now we have it in some places, but before we didn't have it all in all Afghanistan. And we have to call through phone, not internet.
Reza, in your case, how is your family?
So let's go into that.
در تماس هستیم چون نمیخواد اینجا من بقول که رویم خراب بشه دیگه از پشت تلفن میام و خوبی ایران هستم.
His family is okay, but his family is not in Afghanistan. They are all in Iran. And when he talks, and they say they encourage him that okay, everything is good, and you can just live a better life and stuff like that.
I can say that you are lucky guys in this, because I heard stories from my clients, I heard many stories, so that they are not in contact with their families, and they don't know if they are alive or not.
Yes, it happens. In Afghanistan, for example, there was a person, he was talking on BBC. Of course, everybody understands BBC. And he was saying that, for example, if a person kills by somebody else in Europe, in America, in Canada, in Australia, there are too many broadcasting on TVs, on radios, and stuff like this, that one person was killed like this, like this. But every day, like many people dies or has just like Taliban and other people, they kill them, and there is no human rights, nothing, and stuff like this.
So what's the situation like in the country now? Is it getting better or?
I don't think so. We had election last year, like in 2014. We had to have election like 8 months earlier. But because of corruption and stuff like this, after 8 months, we could have a new president. But he is just president, and now they divided because it's about religion. I told you, Afghanistan has many languages, but 2 formal languages, which is Pashto and Dari. I'm a Dari speaker, but I don't understand Pashto. Like, they never accept each other. Pashtuns never accept Dari people, and Dari people never accept Pashtun people. For Dari speakers, we say Tajik. Tajik people never accept Pashtun people, and they have always problem. with each other. Now, the president is from one province of Afghanistan, it's called Paktika, and they are Persian. And the other person is Dr. Abdullah, and he is from the other province of Afghanistan, and he is Tajik. And now they divided I can say the power or stuff. And for example, if there are 30 ministry, then 15 for this, 15 for this. It goes like this. And I don't think so for an Islamic.
How about the religion? Isn't it supposed to get the people united? There's one religion, isn't there?
In our religion, yes. In our religion, there are too many things about unity, peace, and stuff like this. But it doesn't work. And I don't know, because it's politics. And politics are really, I cannot say anything about it.
And how do you feel here in Slovakia? Here is another culture or something like that. And then in Afghanistan, what's your feeling of this here?
The great thing in Slovakia, whatever you do, you can do. This is the best. But of course, I can ask people, or I did ask people about some stuff, but not too much, because I want to learn Slovak and I want to study at the university, that's all I want. And I don't care about like religion or religious stuff too much.
There is actually, what are the biggest differences between Slovakia and Afghanistan?
Pozorte mi kartę, ja tam stanął, zobaczyć.
هي أهمیت که بزرگترین چیزی که مثلا داره خب امنیته که برای میدونه که فردا هر کی میتونه زندگی کنه اما افغانستان مثلا از فردا بخواهیم خبر نداره مثلا این موقع اینطوری میشه موقع اینطوری میشه موقع یکی جوابگو هم نیست کسی که
There are many differences, but the only one that he can say an example is like if you live in Afghanistan, you cannot guess that you will be alive tomorrow because there are too many suicide people that they can kill you because they kill themselves. If somebody wants to kill himself, then of course he doesn't care about the rest of
Well, what things did you take with yourself when you ran away?
Me?
Both of you.
Okay.
چیزایی که مثلا تو کشور خودمون لاغر نتونستیم پیشرفت کنیم لاغر اگر مثلا بتونم مثلا تا جایی که توانم باشه مثلا همون درس بخونم و پیشرفت کنم مثلا واسه خودم فردای خودم بهتر باشه که لاغر به دیدن فامیل دیگه باشه.
He doesn't have a special idea to say something, but he is saying that the only thing that I expect is to provide for me a better life in the future and also meet my family. And for me, I think it's the same.
And what do you think situation in Afghanistan, it's possible, someday it gets better, or what do you think about it?
Of course, everybody wants peace in Afghanistan. For example, I'm from Afghanistan, I want peace in Afghanistan. I want people to go to school, to go to university, because we just saw a movie on the other building, and it was that the ladies couldn't go to school. Not now, actually now yes, but not in the capital or in some provinces now girls cannot go to school. It's forbidden for them to study. And of course everybody wants to study. If it's care by no difference. Just study, continue your education and be something in the future. Because like more than 50% of people of Afghanistan, they are illiterate, they don't have knowledge, they didn't go to school, nothing. And it's really complicated till you change the generation. Because in this generation, people are illiterate, they are older. And in our country, when, for example, in a family there are 5 persons, and the older, who's father, when he says something, then all family do the same. They have old ideas, they don't have knowledge, and how they can just do this.
What do you actually expect to happen after the Americans are gone?
I don't think so, because now they signed contract for 30 more years, I think so, I'm not sure. That they will be in Afghanistan and they can have like a farm or camp forever in Afghanistan. Like they can be there forever.
Do
But
they
I
actually
don't
help?
think
Do they help the situation? If girls can't go to school in some parts, what was the point to get to Afghanistan and change things? Nothing was changed in some parts.
in some parts nothing will change, and it is because of the ex-president of Afghanistan. He came from America and he was elected as a president in Afghanistan. His name is I know, but I forgot. Hamid Karzai. And Mr. Hamid Karzai was the ex-president of Afghanistan, and he was okay. He did too many promotions. He brought, for example, technology, I can say, and everything. And of course, NATO are like more than 40 countries are inside Afghanistan, and they do help with development projects or whatever, like different and everything. And still in some provinces that we don't have security or we have the same problems, that the ex-president doesn't want Americans, that they force people to do something. And it was like this, but now I hope they change it. According to my idea, if somebody is against America or against our government, then they have to fight against them. This is the best way, and they can defeat them, and then we can have, for example, if I can say a district of Afghanistan, I used to work in local province, which is far away on the west from where I live. And in the west or in local province, there is not security. And Americans people and Czech Republic, they helped like $500,000 to build a school. When they built it and when they had the electricity and everything, and after that, when they are gone, Taliban came and destroyed the building. It goes like this, because there's no one.
Any questions behind the first row?
Was it hard to learn English, and how would you encourage our students to learn English actually?
For me, it wasn't hard to learn English because I started learning English from 2004, and it was the time that when Taliban defeated from Afghanistan and the new president came from America, Hamid Karzai. On that time, everything was okay and everybody could go to school and study English and everything. For me, it was easy because I live in the capital of Afghanistan. That it's a place that girls, boys, and everybody can do what they want.
How would you encourage students to learn?
And I had like individual students when I was teaching. Like in one class, like I had 40 students, and of course, a teacher has to have a good marketing in order to encourage people or the students. And it wasn't about the encouraging, but it was about to tell them that to study something is better, you may need it in the future and stuff like this, and they were okay. I hope I just answered him correctly, whatever he expected.
How did you find the Americans? Did they treat you well when you were
In Afghanistan, they were great. They were just spending too much money and also making soldiers endangered because many of them were killed. And they wanted to bring security, peace in Afghanistan, and they want to help. And it's like not only in Afghanistan, they want to bring peace in all the world. But it's still not working in Afghanistan because of many problems.
Now we can make a conspiration if you think the peace is the only goal of Americans in other countries.
America is still spent like 12 years in Afghanistan and still he doesn't know what he's doing in Afghanistan. And in 12 years, Afghanistan damaged the economy of America because America has spent too much money in Afghanistan. And because in Afghanistan there are corruption going on and too many other things, they take money and they go to have a business in Dubai. They go to have a business in Turkish and India, but not in Afghanistan because nobody trusts to have a business in Afghanistan because if he wants to open something or do something, who's gonna do or take the job? How I can say? Because it's unclear if I spend, for example, $100 or $100,000, and I have to be sure that tomorrow I make 101,000 or 110. But if you spend just or make a business with 100,000, tomorrow you can lose it and you're gone. That's why people don't do it, because they don't trust on government.
Just to double check, how is it with our times?
I don't know. There's no certain like amount of time you have always. It should be one lesson, but it can be more. It's interesting for students.
Okay. Well, so please go ahead with your questions then. Still behind the first row.
Do you have any more questions?
Are you planning to go to Afghanistan when the situation will be better there?
Of course, yes, everybody. As I said before, that everybody wants to be in his country. Because the most best feeling that you can have is to talk in your own language. Because whatever it is, this is your mother tongue. But now I cannot speak it. And because it's not necessary to speak it actually, but you will miss it and you will miss. I know that we don't have a good place like here, but we miss those bad places.
And happened to in Slovakia, some people looking on you like you're a bad guy because you're from Afghanistan, because some people still think the people in Afghanistan are all bad people, bad, I don't know.
Terrorists.
Yeah. I don't want to call it that.
Yes, of course, I can say that. I made it easy because like most of people think the same. One day I was on the way to Peskov and there were people, and it's a small park on the way to Peskov to my room, and there were people like 4, 2 girls and 2 boys, and they didn't know that I could speak English, and they said bad things in English. And I just crossed and I didn't say anything. But I understood what they told me. This is just one experience that I had, nothing more.
What about dressing?
The family told me that she's a bad fan, that all that's all that. She thought anything
I can say maybe from our experience as social workers, we would experience a lot of kind of judgments and like things like I notice when I go assisting clients to hospitals, for example. I had like nurses rolling their eyes like, where are they from? Afghanistan. Oh, in front of me, very, very common case. Or if we try to find the accommodation for clients and if we explain that, okay, you know, those people are from these and these countries, okay, the phone suddenly hangs up. So the experience is quite a, like we experience that quite a lot as social workers.
Yeah, they have too much information because most of the time they do everything with silver people and we don't. So they will know that how is the reaction of people. But according to IMIT, they're okay and nice.
And what Reza said?
And Reza said that till now nobody told him anything bad or any reaction.
As a how do you like Slovak girls?
No,
No, dla nich
He said, okay.
Because we are so proud, you know, our
Yes, actually he said that it's now the time for me to thank my father.
And in your case?
Yes, I can say they are pretty, that's all. And most of them are really nice when you talk with them.
You mentioned that you have a Slovak girlfriend and she's teaching you Slovak.
Yes.
So maybe something you can say as in Slovak from your
Of
side.
course, I can say too many things, but I don't know what to say, so I can tell everybody everything. But I can say too many things in Slovak language, because it's almost 6 months that I'm studying Slovak language. Like,
Mám sa dobre.
mám sa dobre, no?
It's usually what I do. What
I
I
can
do.
say too many things actually like this, but I don't know. Yes, if I get, for example, when I speak, not with everybody or here, with somebody who's my friend and we are really free with each other, then I speak Slovak. And if I make mistake, then I ask, okay, correct me, please. It goes like this.
During the previous discussion, one of the differences you mentioned between, or which are different in Slovakia and Afghanistan is friendship. Can you elaborate? Could you explain? I can understand that.
Of course, I can explain, but for students here, it will be like something strange. Say the same thing, or I can say just other examples, because she has also experience and she knows a little bit about friendship in Afghanistan. In Afghanistan, you can have friends, not one, two, many friends, and most of the time it's really complicated to refuse them. As I said, that for example, if they want you to go to Jelena, because they have to, for example, he is my friend, he wants me to go to Jelena and he knows that I have nothing to do or I have a free day, and I have to go with him. I cannot refuse him because he understands that I have nothing to do and how I can refuse him. And the other thing that, for example, if we go to a restaurant here with Slovak friends or Slovak people, everybody pays his money or whatever he had or she had. But in our country, for example, 5 persons go to the restaurant, they eat, and then it's the time, and they go to the cashier, and everybody is like, well, I'm going to pay, stuff like this. It's just like this. I think here it's also, in some parts it's like this, like sometimes.
And so what are the biggest differences for you between Afghanistan and Slovakia?
The biggest difference is the security, because we have security here, but in our country, no.
Čiže sa k tomu hneď týka, lebo my sme to rozoberali, máme spolu také, no ja si mám neformálne vzdelávanie, v rámci toho sme to
You can switch to English.
Okay.
A neviem, by hovoril aj slovenský.
Well, so we have education with them in Charita, and we had one topic about relationships between men, women, families, and friends. So that was the reason why I know something about it, that really when you have a friend, like a good friend in Afghanistan, you just cannot say no just because you don't have a mood to do something. But here it's like, okay, I don't have a mood to go out or to go with him, so I don't go. But there is like, you are almost obligated to go because it's your friend. So if you want, or if you don't know, you have to go. Or
Okay,
you have
what
to-
if you don't?
But-
What happens in case you say no? I have no time, I can't do it.
Well, what?
I can answer this, because most of the time, if I have a good friend and he just wants me to do something, I will never say no until I have a problem. For example, we give the priority to our family. For example, if my mom and dad or my brother need something or wants me to be with them or something, then I can refuse my friend. And I can say that I have this problem, I have to do like this, or I have to do this. But if nothing to do, then it's quite difficult to refuse. But if you refuse, then you have to make an excuse. Without that, you cannot refuse. How you can refuse? Of course, if you refuse without any reason, then
Friendship is over.
not over, but for a few days, no talking, then it will be okay.
Because this reminds me of marriage.
Well, marriage in Slovakia.
You say no and there's quiet for a couple of days.
I don't have that experience.
Ja zase Slovensku, ja som vyrastal na ruštine, tak sa ospravedlňujem. Reza, keď sme dostali ako mailom, kto vlastne príde, tak v prípade Rezu bolo uvedené, že pracoval v stolárskej dielne a vyrábal nejaké pekné drevené výrobky, ak by mohol o tom porozprávať, či to bola jeho dielňa, alebo tam bol zamestnaný a čo vyrábal.
In Reza's case, as it was mentioned before, you were working as a carpenter back in Afghanistan since quite a young age. How was this job like? What were the products you made? What is your experience and memories about this time?
قسمك من بيشتغل كتير لما كان نجار بديكور مدير نتيجة من مختصرا جدا لما بيجوا مكان يعني شيء زمان جو مكان ده بالضبط.
Não, Sam, you musical. Viemos separation aqui. Separation ainda tá muito anos
Actually, they used to receive order from people and they used to make like storage shop, hostel, screen.
And now actually, are you working or are you studying in a school?
Now I study only in Silva and Kharita, which is the office, but I study just the language. Without to know the Slovak language, you cannot get job. For example, we have been to many places, but we don't speak Slovak, and it's not easy. I think I can say that it's impossible without speak the language, because in work you have to speak. If you don't speak, then how are you gonna work? But we have been to some places that they don't speak, that they don't need the language, but it's not working.
And about
Because there are many people that they need job and they can speak the language. So of course they will hire them, not a person who doesn't speak.
And about the studies, what are your plans in that area?
My plan is that I want to learn first Slovak language, and I applied for university for Faculty of Economic and Social Science and European Studies and International Relations, but we just applied for it and we don't have any answer yet.
Yesterday.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, because for them it's really difficult because they have protection, they don't have asylum, so they have permission to stay here only for 1 year and they have to prolong it. And for example, they would have to pay for school, for university, and with the money they received, it's impossible to pay for the university or for school, so that's another problem. So we will see if the university will make some exception or something.
The day before yesterday, I was in the university with Tatiana, and the person that we used to meet, he was really nice, and he just was talking like everything is possible and you're accepted. It was great.
But for most refugees, Slovakia is only a transition country. Isn't it the case with most Afghan people too? I guess that most of the refugees coming here want to go further to Germany.
It has reasons actually why we go to Germany, because they actually gave me protection or semester protection within 3 months, and it is the best. Like if you go to Germany or Estonia or wherever, you have to live in a camp for 3 years, sometimes 4 years, sometimes 5 years to get an answer. or to give, or to can receive just document for 1 year. But here I received my document within 3 months, which is great. And the people, why they want to go there, because those are people that they don't want to study. They just go for work because they need money. They have to support their family. They have to send 300, 400, 200 per month. And that's why they go there, because they can work and they can earn good money. For example, if you work in, let's say, in Astoria in Vienna, you make like 1,500 euro. So you can spend, let's say, 600 euro or 800. But still you can keep 800 more, and you can send it to your family to support them. This is one reason, but maybe more things, I don't know.
And have you some fun story or something happened funny to you in Slovakia? What can you tell to us, or maybe not?
Yes, I can say I have too many opinions. For example, what I like mostly in Slovakia, especially in Bratislava, because where I live is close to the center, like 10 minutes by bus. And during the night, if you go after 10 p.m., because it's the night that people go to disco to dance. And I like that, just walk around and see the drunk people. They just say whatever they want and stuff like this, and it's funny. I like it too much. No. Because that's what you wanted to say.
Just one, if I may, just one comment regarding those other countries. One of the most surprising movies in the One World Festival for those 8 years was about dealing with migrants in Switzerland. It was called Secret Flight, if I'm not mistaken. And it was shown there that even after years of staying in a country like Switzerland, which we would consider the best, let's say, or the dream country to stay in, rich country and so on, those officials were really forcing people in a violent way to leave Switzerland and going back. In that case, it was mostly about African countries. But in a way, it was shocking and very surprising, also leading to big public discussions within Switzerland itself. So I am afraid that even in those countries which are, let's say, richer than Slovakia, it's not that easy to stay as a migrant from abroad.
What were the conditions in those camps you had to stay in for those 3 months?
I was just in one camp for 104 days when I was in the beginning in Slovakia, and it was good. We couldn't go out, like it wasn't prison actually, but you can consider it as a closed camp. Like it's a camp that 3 times you go to eat, and you come and you stay, and 2 times you go outside. For example, I like to play football. You can play football, basketball, volleyball, or whatever you want. It used to be like this, and we had just shopping 1 time per week, once per week, and it was, you could write whatever you wanted, and then they used to buy it from your own money, but they used to bring it tomorrow. For example, on Sundays, they used to write it down what you want, but they had like a list. You couldn't order that I want, for example, vodka. It wasn't like this. They had exact list that whatever you want, they could bring it there. For example, they had tea, sugar. They could not bring food because it was forbidden. And they had less. For example, they could bring soap, shampoo, stuff like this. They would write it and they would bring it on Monday. After 24 hours, it was like this. I think it wasn't, of course it's bad because you are close, like you are in the prison. But it was okay because there were many police and there were meds.
maybe Reza can say his own experience about working with ethnic really.
meg też wychodzę kampowa, tam jest to wyczerpam, bo z tym nie chodzi, tam też nie jest. Because where I was, he was in a different place, and for him he said that I cannot say it's bad or I can say that it's good. It was just normal.
And what was your favorite activities when you was in Afghanistan? Can you tell us?
Of course, when I was in Afghanistan, I used to play football and so play snooker. But here I couldn't find snooker. There are billiards, but they don't have snooker. But I can play snooker very well. And also football. I ski. And he just flew up. Nothing else.
What's the name for the sport you do with the dead goat?
Buzkeshi.
Is it like a national game or something?
This is national game of Afghanistan. This is called Buzkeshi. The goat is called Buz, and the keshi is to take it and just to go through the circle and stuff.
Who's the winner? Who wins?
It's not to go.
Can pick the goat and cross from everybody and can be the best and throw it in that circle. He is the winner. And this is a game that in Afghanistan that like rich people do it because they have houses and they have people that they can keep them and stuff like this, because in Afghanistan you cannot have house, you cannot feed, because there is not a good economy. And mostly rich people do it.
And what is some tradition in Afghanistan? Can you name it or explain to us your tradition?
Yes, of course, I can explain. For example, tomorrow is our new year. Like you guys have Christmas and stuff, and tomorrow is our new year. We call it Sala now. It means the new year.
Which year is it?
In our country, it's going to be tomorrow, 1394. And tomorrow is our new year. Now we are in 93. Tomorrow we will be in 94. And we make fruits, for example. We make not fruit, actually from dry fruit, we make juice. That we call it half mewa. Half mewa is, I can translate it, 7 fruits. For example, my mom, she used to make every year a new year. For example, we pick almonds, palms, but all dry fruits, and you put them in the water. And for example, today you have to do it today, and for tomorrow it will be ready, and then you can eat it and drink it, and it's good. This is one tradition, and the other we have Eid, one New Year, and then we have 2 Eids. Eid is like, I can say like Christmas too, but we celebrate Eids like for 3 days, and we have sacrifice Eid, and also we have, if you guys know, Ramadan Eid, and both are for 3 days. Ramadan Eid, as we call it, a small Eid, and sacrifice Eid is called big Eid. And Eid means the happiness day, the day that you can be happy and enjoy. And why you call it sacrifice Eid? Because on that Eid people kill or sacrifice cow and distribute for poor people, for those who need.
And do you really fly kites on a special day? It's like flying kites,
Flying
big
kites.
thing in Afghanistan.
Yes, of course I have experience that I have till now the stamp from the flying kites here. And I love it because that's nice, I think. but you guys don't have it here. And I used to explain for one Slovak that flying kites, but he didn't understand what I was saying. That's good. Too many people do it in Afghanistan.
Okay, the last question.
Do you like Slovak food?
Slovak schools?
Food.
Ah, yes, of course.
Yeah.
I had too many things. Halushki. I had halushki too. Yes, of course, it's great, but we have also good food. But sometimes, most of the times, we cannot have Slovak food. Because in Slovak, if you have a friend, then you can eat. But if you don't, then it's not possible. But it's okay, it's Slovak food. And I had one more, but I forgot the name. But halushki is something that I always remember. Good way. Because I tried it. Like not one time, but just many times.
So, thank you very much then, and Happy New Year. I didn't know.
Okay, so we finished. Thank you for visiting us. We got some packages for you. I don't really know what's there. So there's any for you.
Thank you so much.
If I can just one more promotion or advertisement. Well, first of all, thank you for your patience. And if you are interested in the afternoon, we are screening movies from Erik Balázs. It's quite well-known person, filming in High Tatras and in the eastern part of Slovakia. And those movies are really unique. So if you would like to experience also different topic from One World Festival, you are most invited. We will start at 4 p.m.
A kiedyś takie mamy